Hey YouTubers, I've been getting a lot of questions about this kind of stuff, about companies and where they came from and stuff and such like that. So I'm going to do a video on this. I don't know how many parts I may make to this. I may add on to this video eventually, but bear with me on this one. If you like this kind of stuff, keep watching. Obviously don't, just skip the video. I keep on getting questions on what companies are owned by what and where they came from and such as that. So I'm going to explain it now. Biggest one I keep getting is the Echo Corporation. It started off by a brand named Quartz, I think it's called, or Quartz or something like that. They were successful with that, so they expanded into Echo, which most of you guys know. Sorry about the shaking. You know about the Echo brand. And then they recently bought out Shindawa, which many of you guys may know. They have some pretty nice commercial trimmers and blowers and stuff. And they combined, and they made a joint company, and now they produce the Ambico or Ambico, whatever, however you say it, from the two companies here, and they sort of share that factory, kind of. A lot of Echo equipment you see nowadays is made by that company, and they do have a factory in China that makes stuff for Echo and Shindawa. I don't know about Shindawa, but they both share that company, so that's how that works. Echo owns Shindawa, and those are the only companies really that they work through. Echo has made John Deere chainsaws in the past. That's a long time ago, but that's it for Echo. I didn't write down one, but there is another brand called Fco, which is an Italian brand, which has also made chainsaws for John Deere more recently, and also Homelight has made some for John Deere. But the Fco brand is a good Italian brand. I've heard good things about them. They're a little more expensive, but you know, you get what you pay for. The next one is the Husqvarna brand. Husqvarna owns John Thread and Poulin. Poulin, you know, weed eater, that kind of thing. That's who they own. They came out of Electrolux bought them out a while back, and then Electrolux broke off from Husqvarna, and Husqvarna owns John Thread and Poulin, and that's what they make. John Thread's more of their commercial brand, but they share a lot of equipment in between the two. And I didn't put down Red Max is also owned by Husqvarna, and that's their bigger commercial brand. So I'll write that in if I can here. You got Red Max. You got Red Max now through that company, and that's I think, I can't remember right, but I think Red Max is like Hitachi, Zenoa, something like that, and that's who makes their engines, but it's still in the Husqvarna branch here. It's still in the Husqvarna family. The next one is Dolmar. It's another German company, really good stuff. They're really good with their chainsaws, and not many people know about Dolmar. They also produce equipment for Makita. If you own a Makita, more than likely it's Dolmar, or if you rent something from Home Depot, like a power equipment from Home Depot, it's generally a Makita Dolmar. They're joint venture companies, but the Dolmar is the person that actually makes it. Makita just slaps their name on it, because Dolmar makes usually the exact same equipment. Next one you have Kawasaki. They're sort of just a company by themselves. They're made in Japan right now. Dolmar is made in Germany. Husqvarna, it's made basically all over the world. Sweden mainly, and there's some places in the United States. Yep, Kawasaki is Japanese. They're good too. Still, they do have a smaller company in Europe. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's like Wizard or something like that. they use like lawnmowers and stuff. They make that kind of stuff, but they're not like commercial lawnmowers or anything like that. They're residential stuff. But still isn't really doesn't have any family members, basically, if you think of it that way. It's a lone company, and they haven't really bought out anybody. But yeah, if you have any questions on this, please ask me. I'll be glad to answer them. But that's for that. I'm going to switch over to a different whiteboard here. And here's another thing I'd like to talk about. I've noticed people are always saying, well, Husqvarna and Stihl, one's so much better than the other, or something along that lines. But I'm going to show you guys something here, and it may make you think about that, really. Well, first, we're looking at a general chainsaw here. Don't laugh at it, best I could draw. But we're going to start with the bar. So the bar and chain usually come from the same company. For Husqvarna, it's usually Oregon, and for Stihl makes their own bars and chains. Oregon is made in the United States. Stihl is made in the United States. And Virginia Beach, I'm not really sure where in the United States Oregon is made, but I know it's made in the United States. But yeah, so Stihl makes their own. So that's one thing towards Stihl. They make their own bars and chains. Next thing, we'll go over to the carbs here. So Stihl does not make their own carbs. The company can get Stihl's name onto the carb, but Stihl does not make their carbs. Either does Husqvarna or many of the other companies. They're either made by Walbro, which you generally find on Husqvarnas, and the older Stihls. And then on Zammer or Zama, Stihl usually uses that company, and some of the other companies still use that company. But Zama is the cheaper of the two carb companies between Walbro and these two. But yeah, and then there's Tillotson, which they really don't use that much of that anymore. It's mainly these two, the bigger two, is used. You'll find these on the older chainsaws, like the older Husqvarna and Stihl chainsaws, the really old ones, not the recent ones. And that's a carb. So neither Stihl or Husqvarna makes their own carb. So that sort of gets rid of the carb section for being made by that company. And well, Stihl makes their own bars, so we can get rid of half of that for Husqvarna because they're made by Oregon. The next thing is the cylinders. This company right here, Mahale or whatever you want to say it, probably butchered that name, is who makes the cylinders, or if you want to call it engines, for Stihl and Husqvarna. So most of the Stihls and Husqvarnas don't. Not all of them, but the majority of them. The lower end ones are usually made by this company. So that gets rid of that area. So if your engine breaks down, it's really not Stihl or Husqvarna's doing. It's this company right here. They are the ones that make the engine. And like all the metal parts in the engine are made by this company. I'm not really sure where they're made, but they're made by that company. So both the carb and the engine part, the main part of the chainsaw is not even made by Stihl or Husqvarna. They're made by two separate companies. So when the engine breaks down or the carb is bad, you can't really blame these companies, can you? You sort of got to blame those two companies or yourself for mistreating it. Sorry about the shaking. So that sort of gets rid of that whole section of it. So the only thing left that the companies make is the body, and that's like the handle and that kind of such. So, and the chain brake and things like that. So really, you can't really say which some is better when most of the parts are made by the exact same companies. It's just that they're different colors and such. Stihl does have the bars. I don't know if Stihl bars are any better than Oregon bars or Forester bars, but they're bars. Same with the chain. And so the body is the only part that is left to be made. One company's really not better than the other when they're made by similar partner companies here. So another company that makes chainsaws is Echo, and the majority of their chainsaws are made by this. Well, I think all of them are made by this company right here. Well, they're new chainsaws at least, and some of them I'm not really sure, but I think a lot of their chainsaws, the little tiny ones, are made in China instead of the nowadays Japanese that everybody thinks. Because if you look at the littler ones on the stamp plate that they have on them, they either say assembled in China or something along that lines. And most of the other ones are made in this place, Lake Zurich, I think it's called, and it's Michigan. That's where Echo makes most of their equipment. And a lot of this stuff is brought over from Japan, but not all of it. I can't recall who makes the bars for Echo, but I do believe it's Oregon. I believe Oregon makes Echo bars, if I'm not right. But that's where most of the Echo products are made, in this place right here. So they're made in the United States, except the very low-end ones. But I hope you guys were able to understand this. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them in the comments section below. I don't know how many parts. I may make this to more companies. So thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, and thanks.